Hello and welcome again to Introduction to Human Services. I am again your instructor, Ricky Stroud. Today, Chapter 2 covers the human service profession, history, and standards. Today, chapter contents include history, standards in the profession, ethical, professional, and legal issues, the effective human service professional, the summary, and experiential exercises. Let's move into Chapter 2. I hope that you are moving along with me in your textbook. Again, the textbook is Theory, Practice, and Trends in Human Services, an Introduction by Ed Newkrug, the International Edition. In this chapter, we will explore the history of psychology, social work, and counseling, examine some of the stereotypes that have emerged based on their histories, and look at how these three fields have greatly affected the emergence of the human service profession. We will then examine the relatively short history of human service profession and see what trends have taken place in this developing field. And remember, the human service profession has not been out there that long. Finally, we will examine the emergence of standards in the profession and reveal how such standards are a mark of the maturity of this profession. Okay, let's look at the history. Can you imagine a woman being burned as a witch because she was mentally ill? Ugh. Or placed in a straitjacket and thrown in a filthy rat-infested cell for the remainder of her life? Can you envision a man being placed in a bathtub filled with iron filings to cure him of mental illness, or bled to rid him of demons and spirits that caused him to have demonic ways? What about having a piece of your brains scraped out to change the way you feel? These gruesome scenarios are part of history of this profession. This is very, very gruesome, my friends. And this is what happened many, many years ago. When people used to call people with mentally ill, they used to call them crazy and deranged. And this is some of the most gruesome things that used to happen to people when they used to think that people had evil spirits about them. But in 1962, T.S. Kuhn wrote a book called The Structure of Scientific Revolutions. This book had a profound effect on the writer of this book. It helped him to put ideas about the knowledge and change in perspective. In particular, Kuhn's concept of this paradigm shift intrigued this author here. Let's move ahead here. Thus, scientists hypothesize that the earth must be round. Similarly, in the social sciences, past theories worked adequately for a while. For instance, many years, psychoanalysis was the treatment of choice for mental illness. However, research on the effectiveness of treatments and the advent of new theories and new treatment procedures reveal that psychoanalysis often should not be the treatment of choice. It should not be the treatment of choice. In other words, a paradigm shift took place in the mental health field. Listen up to this. The human service field has undergone and will continue to undergo paradigm shifts. By studying the history of the field and by gaining knowledge about its roots, perhaps you will be the person to initiate the next paradigm shift Let's hope so. Predecessors to modern-day social service fields. Let's just skip around here just a little bit, because these sections in the book are very, very important, perhaps, but they are very, very long. That's the reason why I encourage you to please, please get your textbooks, because this is a very, very, very good textbook and some very pertinent and very good information in here. But let's skip around a little bit, and I won't just go through the book, because that is the purpose of your purchasing this textbook for this class. This is a very, 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 very good textbook. Today we can see that from the field of psychology, the human service profession has borrowed an understanding of the counseling process and a rich appreciation for testing and research. From the social work field, a deep caring for the underprivileged and an awareness of the power of social and family systems. And from the counseling profession, a holistic and wellness approach that attempts to understand the individual within the context of his or her career, love relationships, and group interactions. A lot of the human services fields depend on the counseling aspects of human services. But Hippocrates was one of the first individuals in recorded history to reflect on the human condition. And I want you to make sure that you are aware of all of the many people that played a part in history's challenge to human services. So be sure to read these, read your chapters, and make sure that you follow your syllabus. I encourage you to make sure that you print a copy of your syllabus. It is very, very important that you print a copy of the syllabus that's online. Let's take a look at box 2.1 on page 37 and the beginnings of the modern mental hospital. You go along in your textbook, and in 1773, the Public Hospital for Persons of Insane and Disordered Minds. Just think about some of the words or verbal usage of words that were used for, like, people, public hospitals for persons of insane and disordered minds. How negative is that? Some of those words are just totally, we don't even use those words today. Public hospitals for persons of insane and disordered minds. We don't even use those words. Those words have lost its total meaning. How would you like to pull up to a hospital and visit a relative in a hospital with those words? Oh my goodness. That is just totally out of the question. Let's skip over to the American Psychological Association, which was founded by G. Stanley Hall more than 100 years ago, has expanded dramatically and is a major force in the social service field. For instance, APA offers divisions for individuals who have interest in just about any aspect of psychology, lobbies for a wide array of mental health concerns, and publishes numerous research journals through which an attempt is made to understand human behavior and